Egypt's military-backed government is struggling to restore political stability, but the Egyptian people face a much bigger problem. Now the post-Ramadan feast is over, food will be increasingly hard to come by as the most populous Arab nation is experiencing a major supply crisis and it's also in its worst economic condition in nearly 80 years. RT's Beltru examines the problem.
At a Cairo hospital, food bank volunteers offload bags of provisions to prepare a traditional Ramadan dinner. For many, like Mustafa Awad, a hospital worker, tonight's donated meal is the largest one he'll get this week.
I earn about $50 per month and we are 6 people. So the maximum I can do is buy bean stew for a few cents so I can eat. We want justice. I work a whole day and make practically nothing when I'm leaving. But if I don't earn this tiny salary, my family won't eat.
The poorest are suffering in Egypt as policymakers and the media are distracted by the deepening political crisis. Food banks like this one, who try to cover the whole country, are stretched to their limit, explains coordinator Mariam Rafat.
The poverty line is so high, food is the most important thing we care about. We provide hundreds of food baskets full of rice and basic foodstuff so that they can feed families for a month. Some places we go to are totally destroyed. Every time we visit, it gets worse. We even provide livestock so that they can feed themselves for a while.
With the country in turmoil, food distribution centres like these are plugging the gaps amid an escalating crisis. Food insecurity has risen significantly in the last few years, according to the World Food Programme, resulting in a rise in stunting and anemia amongst children due to malnutrition. Over a quarter of the population is under the poverty line, and they're the ones being hardest hit. With the continued civil unrest and dwindling foreign exchange reserves, analysts say the situation will only get worse as Egypt is unable to import much-needed wheat for the bread. Millions depend on government-subsidised bread that sells for about 1 cent a loaf. However, critics say Egypt's food subsidies are wasteful and don't filter down to those who truly need it.
It's basically subsidising items at a very cheap prices and availing it to the mainstream populations with a very high calorie intake yet very slow nutritional values. Close to 19% of the poorest people are not getting any use of the subsidy, and we know that 20% of the subsidy goes to the richest strata of the society. And again, it is a non-productive subsidy.
Egypt is facing its worst economic crisis since the 1930s, and food prices have doubled since 2012, making nutritious food inaccessible to many.
There are high prices everywhere. Tomatoes, vegetables are too expensive for me.
With few functioning state institutions and a new interim government focused on developing political events, these issues will continue to go unresolved. And for the moment, the most vulnerable will be left starving. Beltru for RT, Cairo.